It's interesting. That's great conversation here. You know, let's go back just a little bit. You're talking about, the people who kind of established those thoughts around racism and so forth. It's always the people who have some kind of vested
Yep.
interest who create, it's kind of like, whoever sets up the terms and establishes the definition,
Yep.
they control the conversation. And that's exactly the situation historically in everything. Okay, I mean, we talk about the racial thing back in the time when that was the understanding, but the reality was it was defined that way so that there would be control by a few people who wanted certain things. The reality is that happens on a daily basis in our culture, and it touches almost everything. Unfortunately, the whole idea of racism is still just out there because it's kind of this guilt thing and this all these things. The reality is people like you and me
Mhm.
and everybody else out there, the American people are very resilient. Okay.
Mhm.
And we're all looking for something better. We're all working towards something better. Some people have more opportunities than others. And so it's not about the people, it's not about a race, it's about really a society and the opportunities that people are given. And you said very directly, a lot of times people's opportunities are taken away because they are given a substitute called welfare or whatever, where the government is just paying them to stay put and kind of whatever. But that is not really truly helping those people. Those people need to be helped to go to other places where there are jobs and really integrate into new communities where there's opportunity. You got to put people where there's opportunity and they will flourish. It's a natural thing. But if you keep them in their cage, it's just a tragedy. And I think the lesson for me and for all of us is don't believe everything you hear.
And instinctively, the things that you wake up instinctively, I think Americans know the truth. Whenever a friend of mine comes to me and wants to talk about racism, I say, when was the last time you woke up in the morning thinking about how to keep a Black person down? And he says, they always say, never done that. I said,
Yeah.
aha, that means that you're responding to racism someone told you about.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I will guarantee that 99% of every person that wakes up in the morning in the United States is never waking up thinking how they can keep someone down based upon their physical appearance.
Yeah.
We just don't function that way. And we have to
Yeah.
ask ourselves, so where is this conversation coming from?
Yeah.
This conversation is coming from, I'll give you, if in the South never fought a pro-slavery war, they fought a states' rights war.
Right.
Because no one would support pro-slavery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Correct.
They had to change the issue, even though they were fighting for slavery. Only 3 to 5% of people had slaves. So they framed the argument in a way that appealed to the general population, knowing full well that they really didn't care about states' rights. Mm-hmm. That they were preserving their economic base.
Yeah.
And we do the same thing today. We talk around these, we use euphemisms and to avoid the subject, we use terms like fairness and equity, right? But as a parent, fairness doesn't have a real meaning.
Yeah, life isn't fair.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair.
Yeah. Everyone, fairness means something else.
Yeah.
And so what I say to it is this: fairness and equity are not natural constructs.
Yeah.
Don't exist in nature. In nature, the rule is survival of the fittest. If you want to have more equitable outcomes in a society, you must make citizens more fit to survive. But in the end, they have to do their surviving on their own. I can't cut off a leg of the lion to make it fair for the deer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. exactly.
The deer just needs to run faster.
Yeah.
Same thing. I can't talk about an outcome in society and expect it to just happen because of my feelings, right? If you look at all the equity and fairness programs, it's about changing someone's feelings about another group, but it doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't get the person a job. It doesn't result in any improvement whatsoever. It's a distraction. And I've asked the question, I'm a data person. Show me the study where changing a person's understanding about race increase their employability and ability to take care of themselves. They don't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, here's one thing we know, and anybody that thinks about it will know. There's only one human race.
Yep.
One human race. I mean, we all bleed the same. Our overall DNA, there are things, there are little minor changes that give us different pigments and different features and different whatever. Those are genetically passed down, but there's one human race, and you know, when we are not pitted against each other, we flourish very well together.
All progress has been made together. Civil
Yeah,
War was not fought blacks against whites. Civil War was fought whites and blacks together for
yeah,
the same outcome. The civil rights movement was not a black movement. There were as many white people in the crowd, and in many cases more than black people.
mhm,
So in reality, in this country, we're always working together. Now, I don't agree with the Black Lives Matter movement or the organization, but if you take a camera in the crowd, there are whites,
yeah,
usually more whites and blacks in the crowd. So in our natural function, when we meet one another, we don't have any animosity towards each other over race. We
right,
work together. We go to work. We go to our jobs together. We engage with one another. We interact. It's not an issue. We have to be told there's a racial problem to see a racial problem, and I think some of it is that they see disparities. They look at disparities in proportions. I think the powerful does, and they put those out there. And the common citizen says, "Well, why is that?" And too often we don't have an answer for them. And but the answer is there.
mhm,
Whites, minorities are doing better and approaching parity with whites. It's been going that way for 50 years. White progress in terms of poverty elimination has been stagnant. There are historical reasons, but we fixed those in 1968, and the data proves it.
mm.